Hey everyone, it's Corey, and welcome back to our July 4th savings extravaganza stream and shop live shopping experience. Say that 3 times fast. I'm super excited that you are here joining me for our 3 p.m. episode as we talk batting. Now, during our Memorial Day savings event, when we did a batting episode, there was so much information that I really didn't even get through like half of it. So, in that thought process, because I did ask you guys at the end of that episode, if you were watching with me live, I did ask you, did you want a like more information about batting? And it was an overwhelming response of yes. So this holiday, we'll be doing a Let's Talk Batting, and then tomorrow we'll be doing a Let's Talk Batting 2. So the 2 is not a repeat of this episode today. It's more of an extension, more of an expansion pack, if you will, of this episode because there's going to be so much information to talk about. And I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions. And please flood the comments with your questions, and I will try to answer as many of them as I possibly can. But as you know, especially with me, if you've watched me forever, I don't like to leave a question behind. And if it ends up taking us off in a different direction of batting, I'll do it because at the end of the day, this show is about you. And getting to know, getting all the information that you need, getting to know the products that we carry here at Linda's, so you can make confident purchases when you are shopping on our website, lindas.com. If you are watching us on other platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, thank you very much for that. Here at our live shopping experience, if you go over to our website, lindas.com, you can actually shop directly in the video. As I show products, they'll pop up at the bottom of the video where you can actually add them to your cart. So you never have to leave the video. Keep that in mind. These replays of our live shopping events are also available on our website about an hour to an hour and a half after the stream ends. So if you are watching us on another platform and you'd like to go back to our website, lindas.com, you can click on the live shopping tab, click on the replay, and watch it back, and those same pop-ups will appear so you're not missing out on anything. Do note, though, that these savings that we're talking about for the July 4th savings holiday is July 1st, which is today, through July 6th, 2026. So keep that in mind today, Wednesday through Monday the 6th. Speaking of savings, let's talk savings real quick. We'll crank through those. Also, hello, Catherine is reporting in from West Virginia. Thank you on YouTube. We've got people here from Panama City Beach, Florida, in Binghamton, New York. I'm going to say that, Kim. Please, hopefully I got that right. I promise I've traveled before. I think it's Binghamton. Oh, I like the name. Also, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. I love to know where people are watching from. And if this is your first time here, I love that as well. And thank you so much for joining in and all of the fun. I will say, actually, I did forget to mention, if you are watching us on other platforms, just so you know how to find it, I know a bunch of you are watching on our website, but just so you know how to find it, you can hop over to our website, lindas.com, and in the live shopping tab, it will pull up all the different videos that we are doing. Now, this is episode 3 of 10 this series. And you can go through and choose the watch live to watch what we're doing right now. Or if there's some in the future, like tomorrow we talk about thread, notions, and then our batting 2 episode, you can choose the notify me option. And the system will send you a message right before we go live. So you don't miss out on any of the fun here. So we're so excited that you are joining, or if you're watching this on the replay, super fun as well. Sue's here from Grimes, Iowa. Lovely. Okay, so let's talk about some of the savings that are happening here at Linda's over the holidays. Now, if you've been with me all morning, I know Catherine has been with me. I believe Kim's been with me all morning as well. You've heard these savings before. I'm just going to crank through them again for people that are new or that haven't watched yet. We've got 45% off of batting here at lindas.com. We are going to talk batting today, so that 45% off is on the rolls and the packages, which is great, especially if you're trying to play with new battings. A package is always the right way to go instead of a roll, just in case if it's not for you, you haven't invested way too much into it. 35% off of all of our cotton fabrics. That's cotton fabrics by the yard, 35% off. They also will be combined with the buy 5 yards, get the 6th yard free. Always make sure you add in that 6th yard. 30% off of the Shannon Cuddle fabrics. We love those. 30% off of the Superior threads. 25% off of the Glide threads and all Field Tech products. If you like the Magna Glide bobbins, today's the day to get them, 25% off. While supplies last, 20% off of the Aurifil thread. We love the Aurifil thread. We have the 12, 50, and 80 weight here at Linda's. And again, that is while supplies last. We didn't get our full shipment for some reason. So it's just what we have, but take advantage of the 20% off while you can. 25% off all of the Quilter Select and Floriani products. If you were with me at 1 p.m., Jennifer, Deb, and Ashley from R&K were here, and they talked about all things Floriani. It was a full Floriani episode. It was wonderful to learn about all these different stabilizers and these incredible bundles, especially that design thread set that Jennifer, we had it at 25% off, then she gave you another 38% off. Like, say less. Up to 35% off all notions, which we're going to talk a lot about notions tomorrow during my notions episode, especially my favorite ones. And then 40% off of all of our fabric remnants, our end of bolt savings. Those are really great. And then you also have some cart bonuses. So as you add things to your cart, there's a little progress bar at the top that starts to, just let that fall, that starts to fill up, and you'll get to see those different bonuses that appear. We did have a bonus for the first 250 orders, and you guys cleared that before I could even finish my first stream of the day. So I appreciate that very, very much. But those cart bonus ones will be in there. You can see how to earn those gift cards that are available for you. So super duper cool. Catherine said, just ordered the batting sampler pack. I'm a tactile person, so I need to feel it. 100%. That's why we do it. I think that is a great segue. My audio is cutting in and out. Let me switch mics. Hold on. Let me switch mics real quick. I've been using this one all day, so it might be, it was charging, but it might be dying. We'll see. Hold on. And I'm back. Okay. Let me know if that fixes the problem. Sorry about that. Okay. I've been using this one all day, so it might be, it was charging, but it might be done. Let's see. Give me just a second, guys. You know how live stuff is. There's always something going on with it, so I'm trying to make sure that everything is going well on this end. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, let me know if audio sounds good to all of you. I think it's fixed. Hopefully. We'll see. I'll keep watching. No issues on YouTube, so Catherine's good. It's looking like the website is having a problem for some reason. Try refreshing your screen, Nala, if it keeps cutting in and out on you, because it's working good on my side, so double check on yours. I would do that. Okay. Yes, the batting samples, they play a huge role in helping you figure out kind of exactly what batting pack works best for you when you are doing the batting search. Now the whole tech thing has thrown me off. It screws me up in my head when things don't work the way that I want them to. But we do have a batting sampler pack available on our website. Now this sampler pack is just for the Hobbs batting samples. But they're a great way to get a feel. We love Hobbs here at Linda's. It's one of the first battings that we ever carried in massive quantities, just because they're a wonderful company to work with and really great product as well on there. But with these different samples that are available, there are 13 samples in this pack. It goes to 12 on the sample pack here, but this sheet on the back is where number 13 lives. Okay. So these are a really great way to get a 14 by 14 square, really good feel for the battings at hand. Now today, I'm probably going to be able to only make it through about half of these, because not only do we carry Hobbs at Linda's, we also carry Quilter's Dream. We also carry the Warm Company. We also carry Airlight. We also carry the Choice Supreme batting. We also carry Pellon, RNK, Bozol, Bliss. Pretty much every batting you could think of is on our website, and it's available for you, which is really, really great. It's great options to have. But when you think batting, you really think through the fiber type of the batting. That's what really is going to make a massive, what can I say, a massive effect on how the quilt is going to overall look. So I want to take you through. Let me see right here who does experience. Let's go back. Trying to get this fixed. I see it skipping on the website, and I apologize. Okay, I think it's back up and running. Okay, cool. I want to take you through this because I really want to talk fiber. Again, I love Hobbs. I'm a Hobbs guy. It's one of my favorite batting brands. But I want to take you through fiber because once you understand the different fiber types of a batting, then you can make a more informed decision on which batting you want to go with when you are looking at across all of your different brands. And while I'm doing that, what is your favorite batting brand, your favorite batting type, your favorite batting fiber for you to use within your quilt? I like to hear those. So drop those in the comments, which ones you like the most when you're doing your batting search, basically. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I've got an open pack right here. I'm actually going to start with cottons. So I'm actually going to move to number 2. We put number 1 in the front for a reason, but we're going to do that in a minute. We're going to start with number 2. So number 2 in this sample pack, now remember, this is the Hobbs sample pack. I will talk about other brands as well. This is number 2. This is the Hobbs Heirloom Natural Cotton with Scrim. Okay. Now, the natural cotton with scrim is a great option to use if you're looking for 100% cotton batting. If you're looking for a little bit heavier weight of a quilt, 100% cotton will always be heavier in weight. So if you're looking for a little bit more of that weighted quilt, 100% cotton is definitely the way to go. I lean towards the Heirloom Natural with scrim because scrim, and I have peeled it back, do not do this, but I just peeled it back so you could see it. But scrim is a very thin layer of polyester that's actually needle punched into the back of the cotton to keep it from pulling apart like a cotton ball. Without scrim, a batting can pull apart like a cotton ball because at the end of the day, the fibers are just blended together. There's nothing really holding them together when it comes to 100% cotton. So the scrim is going to help hold that cotton together. It's also going to allow you to stitch further apart because it's holding its shape, which is really wonderful. You can quilt up to, I think it's up to 8 inches apart, if I'm not mistaken, on the heirloom cotton with the scrim. Yes, 8 inches apart on that one, which is really, really nice. And basically what that means is between 2 stitching lines, you can have a max distance of 8 inches. This is also really great because if you decide to do a quilt for a show quilt, for instance, or any type of wall hanging that you're doing, with that hang, you're going to get the natural form of gravity when that comes in. So when gravity takes effect, it pulls on that cotton. So if there's not a scrim binder on it, it's going to stretch a little bit out of shape and not stay as square as you would naturally want it to be. So we always recommend anytime you're doing something that's going to hang on the wall, anything that's going to have a little bit of a tug to it. I love 100% cotton with a scrim. Now, here at Linda's, we have our own version of 100% cotton with the scrim. Now, there's the heirloom natural cotton with scrim, and then we have our Linda's Choice. Give me just a second, guys. It's still messing up. Oh no, it's still going. Okay, it's going on. I'm getting thrown off, but I should just turn off the screens that are next to me. The video is choppy a little bit, but the sound is still good on our website. I do apologize. I think we're just having a little bit of a overload on the website right now, the amount of people that are on. So I do apologize for the video being a tad bit choppy, but the sound is still good. The sound is really what you're listening to anyway. So on this one we have our own, which is called it's called Linda's Choice. Now it is 100% cotton. It has a scrim layer as well. It's a bleached white, which is also really really great. Whenever you're working with light or sheer colored fabrics, bleach white is fantastic for that. But this is a denser, heavier cotton. So I use these for all of my show quilts. I use the Linda's Choice. We have it available in rolls. We're working on getting it into packages, but right now it is available in rolls. And the Linda's Choice, I'm going to grab a quilt for you real quick that has it in it. But it just gives beautiful stitching definition to what you're working on. But it's also going to keep the quilt really nice and square whenever it is whenever it's hanging up, whenever it's being showcased. If it's one of those quilts that's just going to kind of lay on the bed and drape and be seen, this is going to have a nice flat appearance look to it. This quilt I also paired with a wool inside of it. So there's 100% cotton with scrim on the bottom layer, and then wool is the top layer, which is going to give this the little pop and definition of the stitching that we're looking for. But that 100% cotton with the scrim is going to give it the weight and the square blocked off look that I am going for when it comes to a show quilt or a wall hanging piece that we've got. Now that was the let's also talk about without scrim, because there is, okay, so why would you have scrim, why would you not have scrim? Certain batting brands will say 100% cotton, but they may not say with scrim, so that's a big thing to look into if you're trying to figure out between the two. But without scrim, that would be on this little sample pack here. This would be number 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So 3 and 4 in the Hobbs sample pack are going to be the heirloom and Tuscany battings that are 100% cotton without scrim. Now, why would I go for a batting without a scrim? Really great question on that. If I'm going for a batting without a scrim, I am looking for a batting that's going to make my quilt drape really, really nice. It's going to lay beautiful. Now, the thing about not having a scrim, remember, like I said, it can pull apart easily and stretch. You definitely want to be very careful when you're loading this on your long arm, or if you're a long armor, if you're providing this for your long arm, let them know that it does not have a scrim in it. But if you're, how do I say this nicely? I normally only don't use a scrim when it's going to me or someone that really knows how to take care of a quilt properly. What I mean by that is you can easily, again, stretch the quilt more or less out of shape if it's not quilted together close enough, or if it's not well laundered or taken care of. But a 100% cotton batting without a scrim will have a beautiful drape to it. It'll be really nice and cuddly and cozy. It just gets all nice up in there. And it has this, again, beautiful poof, beautiful loft on that. Available in a bleached white or a natural color. So why would you go with one or the other? Natural's probably what you would use the majority of the time. Bleached white, again, if you're using sheer fabrics, pastel fabrics, really bright colored fabrics that you don't want to lose the color of, you would go with white, which is really nice to have. Again, this is the without scrim edition. So keep in mind that it's just going to have a little bit more of a hand that it can stretch a little bit. So you just want to be very gentle with it whenever it's getting quilted up in the quilt. This one you will quilt a little closer together. You have a max stitching distance on the 100% cotton without scrim of 4 inches. So it's still a decent stitch distance, and that's just to keep it from migrating whenever you're working on it. And so you'll have that available. Now, Catherine's got a question. Here come the questions. This is my favorite time. Here come the questions. And it says, does the 100% cotton with no scrim pucker more after washing than the one with scrim? Depends on how far apart you stitched. Now, if they were like two lines of stitching, they were an inch apart, you're not going to see much difference. If you do 4 inches apart, you'll see a little bit more difference because that scrim binder is holding the cotton a little closer together, where the non-scrim one will poof a little bit more. So it just depends on how much of a pucker you're looking for that heirloom look that the quilt normally gives after it's been washed. But a great question on that. The other one in the Hobbs lineup, I'll move to the other brands in a minute, but the other one in the Hobbs lineup, there is another cotton. There is the Tuscany Supreme. Now, this is the Supreme without a scrim, and it's about double the amount of cotton. I'm sure it's a different formulation, but I'm guesstimating about double the amount of cotton in the standard without scrim one. And so it has, again, a beautiful drape. It's so cozy and cuddly. I've done a quilt with 2 layers of this, and I used it as basically a weighted quilt because cotton can be so heavy. It really gave it a nice weight, but it still gave it a beautiful drape. It puffed up beautifully. It really showed off my stitching. So Supreme is really, really great on that one. Again, this is the Tuscany Supreme from Hobbs. That was their brands of cotton. Let's look at the next one. Next one that we have Warm and Natural and we have Warm and White. So these are both going to be 100% cottons as well. The Warm and Natural comes in a bunch of different sizes. The Warm and White comes in a bunch of different sizes. Same idea on these. Again, like I talked to you about at the very beginning, it really comes down to fiber type and what brand you like the best. Once you learn the essence of the fibers in each of them, you're golden. You can move through so many different brands without a single issue. It's just figuring out exactly what direction you want to go with when you are looking at those different fibers. Okay. So, Warm and White will be 100% cotton on this one. This one is going to have that beautiful white color to it. So it's really going to keep the true color of your fabric, make it shine. This is a queen size package. We also have it available in the rolls as well. That's a big one. We not only have packages, we have rolls. Now, if you like Warm and Natural, Warm and Cotton, any of the Warm Company products, we have been out of these for a while. They are back in stock and they are that 45% off sale. So you can't beat that one bit. No pre-wash necessary on these. That's another big thing that people ask me when it comes to pre-washing. Do I need to pre-wash my batting? I never, ever, ever pre-wash my batting. I take that back. I did it once and it came out like a no. No, I don't do that. Pre-washing is what's going to pull out that shrinkage factor that you're looking for because you don't want to have that heirloom crinkle look. It all comes down to fiber type. Now, if you have to pre-wash your batting, I wouldn't do it in the standard washer dryer combo. I would be doing it more in kind of like a bathtub and just kind of forcing it underwater basically, and doing it all by hand because majority of battings, like 99.9% of them, are blended together and needle punched together. They can easily pull apart even more in standard washing machines. You have to be very careful if you choose to pre-wash. I've never found it necessary because it all comes down again to me with fiber type. If I choose the right fiber, I don't have to worry about pre-washing the batting if that's not the look that I'm going after. So we have the Warm Company. We also have, this one is from Airlight. We have their rolls on our website. I have just a cute little package here, a twin size package here. But Airlight makes a beautiful cotton as well. They make a couple of different cottons depending on the thickness and the kind of the density that you're looking for. They have a double extra loft, just a standard cotton, a cotton with a scrim liner, a poly cotton one that we'll get to here in a minute. But there's a bunch of different options that are available for you when you are looking at battings. Now, Airlight, again, on the roll, 100% cotton. It's called Color Me Cotton. Trying to think what else is this. Again, we really talk fiber, and then after that, it's really just showcasing you guys what we have available for you, depending on what brand you like. So, okay, that's Airlight. We have Quilter's Dream. I see on the website there's a Quilter's Dream fan on there. So we have Quilter's Dream cotton. Now the Quilter's Dream cotton comes in 4 different lofts. There's a Request, a Select, a Deluxe, and a Supreme. And what that basically means is the thickness of the batting, how lofty the batting is. So just depending on how much poof you're wanting out of that would be where you're going for on this one. Now, the way this one's blended together, they state that it does not need a scrim glue or a binder to hold it together, and it can still be quilted up to 8 inches apart. Closer stitching will give it more of that antique puckered look, as they're stating. But again, the 4 different lofts that are available for you in multiple different sizes. And here soon we should have every single one of the packages that they make. It's been a process, but here soon we should have every single one of them available. This is one thing I didn't mention. I'm just reading it on here. 100% cotton without a scrim will also hand quilt really well. A scrim binder will still be fine for hand quilting, but without it, it just kind of really glides the needling through really well. Also, depending on which brand you go with, I get this question a lot. Does the batting have a right or wrong side? With Hobbs, the batting does not have a right or wrong side. Um, I don't believe with Warm or with Quilter Stream they do either, or Airlight. There's some that have right or wrong sides. I believe all the ones that we carry do not. But definitely double check in the description or check with the manufacturer before you load it into your machine to make sure you've got the batting facing the correct way. Rule of thumb is like if the batting has like little dimples on it, dimples would be kind of like the kind of a cave basically, or the pimples are the little freely parts on top. Normally you hide the pimples. So dimples up, pimples down, if you have that on there when you're looking through those. Those are all the cottons that I have up here, so I think we're good on that. Catherine says, can we wash cotton batting on a gentle cycle with no agitator and then air dry it? I would still do it by hand in a bathtub personally, even without even on a gentle cycle without without an agitator. There's just something about putting it into a machine that gives me the hives and a little PTSD because I did it that one time. And once that batting's crumbled up and junked up and the fibers are pulled out, there's no way of getting it back to the way you want it. So I would still, if you choose to pre-wash, do it by hand in some type of large water basin on that aspect. All right, let's see what else we've got going on here. Okay. Let's move on to blends because there's a lot of blends. Let's move on to blends. Yeah. So we'll start with the Hobbs lineup again, and then we'll work through. I'm going to start with which is number 1 in the sample pack. This is our Linda's Deluxe Cotton Poly batting. So this is a blend of batting that we have formulated specifically with Hobbs for us here at Linda's. And you can purchase it in packages, or the rolls are currently on pre-order because they've already sold out. But with this 60-40 batting, with this deluxe cotton poly batting, it is a 60-40 blend. So it's 60% cotton, 40% polyester. And the reason why we went with this type of formulation is we were looking for something that was a cotton poly blend that had much more loft to it as opposed to a standard 80-20. But it wasn't going to have to give it more weight. But I wanted something also to be a little bit warmer. When we talk about the poly batting, probably in tomorrow's episode, because we're already about halfway through this one and we're just now getting into blends. With a poly, it's going to retain heat, so it's going to be a little bit warmer, but it's also going to give it more loft. And so we love to use the 60-40. I use this a lot in my own personal quilts. I tested it. This is when it was first being introduced, and we were getting samples. It was tested in this double wedding ring quilt. So standard, I know I normally use a cotton batting in my show quilts, but I really wanted to showcase the puff of this and really show off how beautiful the stitching can look with it. But also not give it too much weight because this quilt is ginormous. It's massive. So I went with the 60-40 whenever we got our first initial samples of it, and it gave it just a beautiful loft, a beautiful poof, but it also just has a wonderful hand to it and a beautiful feel on that blend. So this is the Linda's Deluxe Cotton Poly. The next one in the lineup would be Hobbs's 80-20s. Now, I put emphasis on 80-20s because there's multiple different ones within the family, a ton of them in the lineup as we're looking. We can start with just the standard traditional one, which is the 80-20 that comes in that natural heirloom color. Now, this is going to be 80% cotton, 20% polyester. This 80-20 does not need a scrim. Some companies you'll see say 80-20 with scrim. Hobbs does not need a scrim because they actually blend the fibers together as opposed to stack them on top of one another. So a scrim isn't needed for this, but this is going to be that 80/20 natural color. There's also an 80/20 black, which always gets a lot of kind of side eyes. Is why would I need a black batting? Just because again, I didn't use it in this one. I used 100% cotton, but just so you can get the look of it. If you're using a quilt that has really dark, rich colors, blacks, navies, royal purples, burnt oranges, um, or something that's just kind of wild. And oh gosh, I still love this quilt so much. Black batting in this is going to keep those true colors, just like the white batting would do for those sheer pastel fabrics. The black batting is going to keep these to show their true, rich, darker colors. So using a black batting on this one, such as the black 80/20, is a really great option for you when you're working with those darker colors. Now, in kind of other, what's the opposite of that, I guess, would be the 80/20 bleached white. So there is a white edition on this as well. So if you're working with those light sheer pastel colored fabrics, using the white on this one would be your way to go. And then the last one in the 80/20 lineup from Hobbs is an 80/20 double-sided fusible, which is fantastic for the quilt as you go method that we teach here at Linda's using the quiz system. But that has a double-sided fusing medium on both sides that's not going to gunk up your needle or harm the machine or harm the fabric. A temporary fusing medium that's already there, you place the top fabric on the batting and the backing fabric, and then you'll press and hold with a hot dry iron on an ironing surface, not a cutting mat, but on an ironing surface. You'll press and hold with a hot dry iron for about 7 to 10 seconds, and then you'll pick up the iron and then move it to another section and press and hold for about 7 to 10 seconds. What that's going to do is fuse those layers together and allow you to move that through the machine really, really easily without having a worry that it's going to stretch out of place or stretch out of shape whenever you're pulling that back and forth into the machine when you're doing domestic machine quilting. So those are the 80/20s from Hobbs. They're those yeah, we'll do that. We'll go to another brand and then we'll come back to Hobbs for a second. But those are the 80/20s from Hobbs. We also have the 80/20 from Choice Fabrics. So Choice Fabrics also makes a batting called Choice Supreme batting. This is a really, really nice batting, and I think it gets a bad rap, honestly, just because people have never used it before. But what I mean is, I'm trying to put it on the screen for you real quick. But the Choice Supreme is a little bit of a lower loft 80/20, and that's by design. So if you'll notice, it's pretty thin in loft. That's by design. It's made to not add a ton of extra bulk to the quilt. Um, Made to really hold those layers together. And once it washes, it poofs up really well. I have a sample of it after I've washed it where it poofs. I'm trying to see if you'll be able to see it on camera. No, can you see it on the back? No, it's black. It's hard to tell. That was a genius idea. Let me grab the flashlight. See if you can see it with the flashlight. I think I did this last month too during the other sale. And we did the same thing. We went through the same issue. Should probably make another sample. You see a little bit of a poof there, but it poofs up really well and gives you a great traditional 80/20 feel. But when you're working with it, it's staying a little bit thinner, a little bit more low loft underneath the foot. But once it's washed up, it just feels so nice and really, really good. But that is the Choice Supreme batting. Have that available in packages and a 15-yard roll. So that's what's available on that one. If you are a Quilter's Dream fan and you're looking for a blend, we have the 80/20 from Quilter's Dream, which is always a very, very popular batting. 80% cotton, 20% polyester, available in multiple different sizes. They also have a 70/30 blend, which is called their machine blend. We don't have those packages right now. We're working on getting them. But you do have those blends available as well in packages. We do have all of the roll sizes as well. That one's going to be a little bit more of a lower loft look, just like the Choice Supreme batting is. A little bit more on that lower loft, and then once it's quilted up and washed, it gives it that nice poof effect that you're looking for out of normal 80/20 when it has a little bit more of a poof to it. I'm trying to think. Airlight has an 80/20 as well. I don't have the sample with me, but they've got an 80/20 as well that we have on our website in rolls, and that's available. Now, remember, if you're just now joining us, all of these batting packages and rolls are 45% off for the sale here during July through from July 1st through July 6th. Trying to bounce around all the different browsers to make sure I'm getting everybody's questions answered if there are any. I think there's just so much to talk about that everyone's just kind of like, okay, let's just keep going. So much stuff to learn and talk about whenever we are working through all of the batting. That is for sure. I did tell you that we'd move back to Hobbs briefly after we got done with the 80/20 because they have another 80/20 in their lineup. This would be number 12 in the sample pack if you've got a sample pack. This is the 80/20 cotton wool batting. Now, this is going to be 80% cotton, 20% wool. That wool is going to give you a little bit more of a lofty feel. It's going to have those two breathable fibers, which are going to be wool. I'm sorry. Yes, wool and cotton in those. Natural color on this batting. So it's going to be a nice natural shade. Really beautiful. I love cotton wool, like the deluxe cotton poly. I use cotton wool in a lot of my own personal quilts just because of how it lofts, how it drapes. Pairing a cotton wool with 100% wool on top is a really great pairing because the fibers are like fibers. Whenever they're working together, that means their shrinkage rate will be a little bit similar. Which brings up another topic. When you're looking at pairing battings together, so like when that black ethereality panel that I showed you, I said that I had 100% cotton batting on the bottom and wool batting on top. I don't plan on ever washing that quilt, so pairing different fibers wasn't a big deal to me. But if you ever plan on washing a quilt, make sure you're pairing fibers that have like shrinkage rates. What I mean is I wouldn't do 100% cotton batting on the bottom and then a poly batting on top if I ever planned on washing the quilt because polyester does not shrink, where cotton can shrink 3 to 5, sometimes 4 to 5%. So you would have weird shrinkage rates on top and bottom. Like the quilt wouldn't shrink on the top, but it would wrinkle up on the bottom. It would look kind of strange. So if you're ever pairing battings together when you're doing double layers or even triple layers, I've seen people do triple. I've done triple layers before. Make sure you're pairing like fiber types together. Even if you want to cross brands, you can cross pollinate if you want to across the brands, but you're still wanting to pair those fibers together to make sure they're going to have a nice even shrinkage rate. I will tell you, if you are on our website, there is a free digital download for the Hobbs battings on their approximate loft, their shrinkage rates, their max distance, different applications that they're good for. You can go to the free digital download section of our website and you can find those on there. It's a really great option for you. Catherine said the black batting looks good with a dark batik quilt. It sure would. Yes, it would. So that's going to be the cotton wool blend from Hobbs. I think that's going to be a good stopping point, actually. If I dive too much further in, it might take us way too far. And this is so I want you to okay, that's actually a good stopping point because also the website's still giving me some problems and I really would like to get that fixed before we keep diving in. So I do think this is actually a really great stopping point. This is a great point for me to one talk about some of the giveaways that we are doing over the holiday. And I'd also like to discuss a big thank you for the sponsors, which we'll go through, and then what the rest of the schedule looks like for the rest of the week. So, for the rest of the week, if you hop over to our website, lindas.com, you can go into the live shopping section. Tomorrow, I've got Notion or Thread, Notions, and Batting Part 2, where that will talk about poly, wool, some other blends, how to combine pieces of batting together if you've got extra strips lying around, and all of your general questions. I think today was more of just let's get all of this, a little bit more of the information, and then we can dive into some of the questions tomorrow, which I think is a great segue. I do want to talk about we are doing a fun giveaway this holiday week. If you've ever done any of the live shopping episodes with me before, you know that I love to do a giveaway in this this session's giveaway is going to be the largest of them all. Thousands of dollars worth of prizes are going to be given away. So what happens is every order that you place gets you an entry into the giveaway pool, and then I draw those about a week after all of this is over, and I do a live announcing all of the winners. But I do want to give a big shout out to all of our incredible sponsors. Not only us here at Linda's are donating, but Superior Threads, Airlight, Habendash, Hobbs, Aliso, Orifil, Quilter Select, Floriani, Quilter's Dream, Famore, and the Fabric Company are all pitching in and donating some wonderful prizes to all of you. So make sure you're placing your orders during July 1st through July 6th, 2026 on lindus.com so you can get entered into that fun giveaway pool because there are some fun prizes. If you watched the episode at 1 p.m. with Jennifer, Deb, and Ashley, they talked about what they're giving away. And Jennifer's giving away this massive Floriani bundle and a beautiful Quilter Select ruler bundle as well. So 2 fun prizes that are available for you. When it comes to batting, there are multiple packages of batting being given away and multiple rolls of batting being given away. So you definitely want to make sure you are getting in on that and doing your shopping this holiday weekend during that 45% off savings time here at Linda's. Again, I do want to go overhead. If you've just joined us, we are about to end this episode of batting. This is just part 1. We looked through a few of the fiber types. But if you hop over to our website, lindus.com, go to the live shopping tab, you can find all of the episodes that we were doing, and there's an option to be notified for those episodes. So I would definitely click that notify me button so you can stay up to date with everything going on here at Linda's. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, I will have a special guest tomorrow here in my home studio. And she is very, very excited to be here with all of you. And I bet all of you will be excited to see her as well because she's been on screen with me many times before. All right, guys, that was our batting part 1 episode. We looked at cottons and cotton poly blends and a cotton wool blend. We still have to talk about wool, poly, how to put them together, how to use them for different applications, why we would layer versus not layer. We still have a lot more to go through. So we've split those into 2 separate episodes. So make sure you come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. as we go through batting part 2. But until then, I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central as we talk all things threads here at Linda's. Bye, guys.